Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here. Today we have another Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Moveset video guide on how to use FLYGON. Actually, today's kind of like Dragon Day on the channel because we have a FLYGON Moveset video guide, we have a Palkia Showdown Live, and we have a Kingdra Wi-Fi battle. So, as you can hear, I upload 2 to 3 Pokemon videos a day, so if you are new to the channel, subscribe. My end of the year goal is 300k, and you can help me get there by subscribing. Also, leave a suggestion down below of which Pokemon you'd like to see me cover next. Now, I'm a big fan of FLYGON. I love FLYGON, been using it since Gen 3 and obviously since when it came out. And in Gen 4 specifically, it was a fantastic Choice Scarf Pokemon. It was one of the best revenge killers in the tier just because base 100 speed is a pretty good speed stat, and it had the tools to be able to check Infernape, check non-Scarf Gengar, check non-Scarf Starmie type of thing. So it just had the tools that were really nice. But now it's been nerfed quite a bit just because not only does it not have access to Thunder Punch, which would be good for things like Gyarados, but also there are Fairy types now. So it definitely has been nerfed. That doesn't mean that FLYGON's bad though. So the most common FLYGON set is the Choice Scarf FLYGON set, and that runs Jolly Nature, Max Speed, Max Attack. This allows it to outspeed Choice Scarf Porygon, Choice Scarf Heracross, and anything basically below that speed tier. Outrage is your main move. This is a move you're going to want to lock yourself into when you have to pick off the opponent's weakened Gyarados, Mismagius, Heracross. Basically, if they don't have Fairy type, this is something you can lock yourself into, and obviously you can just switch out after when you get confused. Earthquake is your other main stab. It's just really good. You're able to beat the Fire types down, like Entei, Infernape, Heatran, also Tyranitar, things like that. Good neutral versus steel. Good neutral just in general versus fairies, and super effective versus steals as well. U-turn is one of the biggest things that FLYGON does. It comes in, it forces out a Pokemon. Like for example, if my opponent has an Infernape out or a Heatran out, they're usually going to switch out, so I can go for U-turn, predict them to want to go out into maybe their Togekiss, their Gliscor, whatever, and bring out said Pokemon to deal with that. Choice Scarf FLYGON actually pairs really well with offensive water types like Starmie, Milotic if you want to go offensive, Milotic, Manaphy. And also it appreciates Skarmory as well, because FLYGON can switch it on Heatran and deal with Skarmory, that deals with Skarmory, and then it also appreciates the fact that Skarmory comes in on Weavile and Mamoswine pretty easily and gets some spikes. Then your last move is either Defog, Stone Edge, or Sewer Power. If you're playing with it in UU, you can use Defog, or anyway you can use Defog. Fast Defogger, never bad for you, getting rid of hazards. Stone Edge can be good for revenge killing Gyarados and also hitting Togekiss for super effective damage. Sewer Power can work as well if you're playing with it in UU to be able to deal with Ambipom and Porygon Z, as well as deal more damage to Snorlax. But basically, you're faster than Ambipom, you're faster than Choice Scarf Porygon Z, so you get a strong hit off versus them that can knock them out. So of course we talked about Choice Scarf FLYGON, now we're going to talk about Choice Band. Very similar moveset. Outrage, U-turn, and Earthquake are always going to be a given, and the only difference here is that you have as your last move Iron Tail or Dragon Claw. Iron Tail is really nice because it gives you a super effective hit versus Fairies, good for Gramble, but mainly good for Togekiss. That's the big thing, right? Good for Togekiss, allowing you to smash that thing after Stealth Rock with a Choice Band Iron Tail, knocking it out. And then if you don't want Iron Tail, if you think that Earthquake is enough or you have good teammates for that, I apologize, my nose is a little stuffy right now. I know you can hear it. But you can go for Dragon Claw. And Dragon Claw is pretty cool because it means you don't have to lock yourself into Outrage to go for a Dragon type attack. And it's still relatively strong coming off a Choice Band FLYGON. I really like this Pokemon when paired with Infernape as well. I think they make a good core together. And Choice Band FLYGON can actually 2-hit KO Gliscor with Outrage, which is a pretty nice thing when it comes to FLYGON. Otherwise, it's not normally doing that. So, we talked about Choice Band. We talked about Choice Scarf. Of course, I gotta show you the Choice Spec set as well. Now, FLYGON does not have the best special attack stat, base 80. However, it does have strong special attacks that kind of make up for it. Draco Meter is your strongest move. You want to drop a Draco on the opponent, it's pretty cool because you can go for it without being, locked into like an Outrage or anything and not worrying about Fairy types coming in. Obviously, you do drop your special attack, but Draco Meter is really nice. You're able to weaken physically defensive Gliscor quite a bit. You'll 2-hit KO them, which I think is really nice as well as most physical walls that try and come in on you. Like Tangrowth, for instance, will get dropped by a Specs Draco Meteor or a Specs Fire Blast. Earth Power is your ground stab, allowing you to still deal with Pokemon like a Powdon, Fire types, Steel types in general. And then Boom Burst is a really interesting option because it's still a really strong move, right? Like Boom Burst is incredibly strong. It's a really, really strong attack, even if FLYGON only has base 80. And it's a good neutral move to lock yourself into. Something that can hit Fairies, something that can hit ground types, basically something that can hit things for neutral damage. Like if your opponent, for instance, has Gliscor plus Clefable or Gliscor plus Togekiss, there's not really one move you can click here that can deal with both, but If you go for Boom Burst, you can potentially 2-hit KO them depending on the EV spreads, and allowing FLYGON just to have a more spammable move. I mean, it's 140 base power. I do hope that eventually if this Pokemon does get a Mega, it becomes maybe part Bug, like I think Bug Dragon would be really cool, honestly. Just because FLYGON kind of looks like it should have Bug. It looks like it should have like an Aerialate type ability, like an 8 ability, you know, like Aerialate or Refrigerate, things like that. So it looks like it should have like Buggy 8. So Boom Burst would be super sick with that, man. It'd be so sick. So we have the 3 choice sets, of course. Next up, we're going to be talking about Dragon Dance, because FLYGON does have something that it did not have in Gen 4, which is Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance allowing it to boost its attack and its speed by +1. So on this set, you're usually going to want to go Jolly Nature. Again, that speed tier is really important because you're faster than most relevant Scarfers. If you are using this in the UU tier, I do advise pairing with either Probopass or Magneton. That way you can deal with Bronzong really easily, and also deal with Pokemon like Gramble that could otherwise deal with it. But like a Magnet Rise Probopass and a Magnet Rise Magneton that have Magnet Pull can beat Bronzong 1v1, allowing Dragon Dance FLYGON to potentially sweep. It also appreciates the fact that Salamence is no longer in the tier, which is a big thing. And also Donphan is no longer in the UU tier as well, so it can't Ice Shard and Revenge Kill this that much easier. Plus, a lot of people aren't using as many like weird ice types. I don't want to say weird, but like niche ice types like Sneasel and Abomasnow. Not to say that they're both, I want to say niche, but they're still good, right? But like they are niche picks. They were more popular just because they can revenge kill Salamence and FLYGON. But people aren't using that as much because Salamence is no longer in the tier. So a Dragon Dance set allows you to do that. Lumberry means that when you go for Outrage, you're not going to be confused after. It also allows you to set up on Scalds because you don't have to really fear about them burning you, or Will-O-Wisp from Will-O-Wisp from like defensive Rotom variants. We have Earthquake, of course, and then your last move is either Iron Tail, Stone Edge, or Crunch. You want to do better versus Fairies? Iron Tail. You want to do a strong move versus Pokemon like Crobat or Togekiss or whatever, Stone Edge, Gyarados as well. But maybe you don't want to be walled by Bronzong. And unfortunately, this Pokemon does not have access to Fire Punch at the moment. Otherwise, you see Fire Punch here. But you can go Crunch, allowing you to 2-hit KO Special Defensive FLYGON before they can knock you out in one hit. So it just allows FLYGON to be a sweeper. And of course, there is another set that we have. Mix set is pretty cool. Now, I do think that Salamence does is better just because it has a higher damage output, and Intimidate as well as Moxie, both 2 really good abilities. But FLYGON's Levitate's obviously super cool too because it doesn't have to really worry about hazards, and it does resist Stealth Rock as well. So the main reason for the mix set is, again, kind of similar to the Spec set. You want to lure the opponent, right? So you have Earthquake for for Heatran, but maybe they have Heatran plus Skarmory, so they go Skarmory on the Earthquake thinking you're locked in, and then you go for Fire Blast after, knocking them out if Stealth Rock are up, or bringing them down to Sturdy if Stealth Rock are not up, so allowing you to be a mixed wall breaker. Draco Meteor is also your strongest Dragon-type attack to go for. If a Gliscor comes in on Stealth Rock and takes a Fire Blast, it will die to Draco Meteor right after. And then you do have the Roost for longevity, allowing you to multiple times come in on like weaker fire type attacks from Heatran and things like that. Not be worn down by Gliscor's U-turn if they are just the defensive variants as well. Just having that longevity, especially because you have Life Orb eating at you. And then last but not least, we do have a defensive FLYGON variant, and this is pretty cool if your team is weak to Scarf Mismagius, because FLYGON eats that up for breakfast. Scarf Gengar. If your team is weak to special fire types like Typhlosion, and Sun, maybe Sun is like a problem to your team, or you want something that can naturally check Entei 1v1, as well as just sit on Magneton as well. Then you can go Special Defensive FLYGON. And FLYGON, like I mentioned before, has Levitate. And Levitate with Defog is really good because the only hazard that can hit you is going to be Stealth Rock unless Gravity is up or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about that. You can Defog away safely. Think of it as the Gliscor of UU, right? It can sit on so many Pokemon as well because nothing really has access to Toxic at the moment. Some Pokemon still have it, but most Pokemon do not have it that had it before. So even like a Registeel, which could normally like Toxic, Protect, and Seismic Toss, even beat a Scarf FLYGON if it really wanted to 1v1. Can't really do it down to this FLYGON because you do have Roost for that longevity, and of course you can beat it Stealth Rock because you have the Defogs as well. Beat it with Earthquake, and then you do have U-turn to bring momentum for your team. So this is cool if you want like a Pokemon to deal with like Sun teams, since it could easily take hits from Typhlosion if need be, at least 1 or 2, and also just defog on Fortress without letting it Volt Switch and beat it 1v1 via Earthquake and that as well. So that's basically all I have for FLYGON. Of course, I saw somebody mention this and a few other people had thumbs it up as well, so I wanted to cover FLYGON. Like I said, later today I have a really cool Palkia set that I'm showing off in a Showdown Live, and also we're using Choice Specs Kingdra in a Wi-Fi battle. So it's basically Dragon Day on the channel. Dragons are my favorite types, and we're using, well, my favorite type is water and dragons, so we're using water dragons today. Obviously not Flygon, ground dragon, but still a really cool Pokemon nonetheless. Hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.